you guys, welcome to this week's episode of Never Thought I'd Say This. Obviously, we are doing it a little different this week, and we are catching up on all things holiday, how our Christmas was, our Christmas vacation, and what an embarrassment of cookies actually means.
This is what she got me, which, by the way, is really heavy, and the kids haven't been around me.
You could kill someone with it. Not that was the point, but just
y'all know that it will happen at some point. It will get dropped, maybe on a specific cat. Yep. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the fat cat to walk by me at the right time so I can be like, oops.
Dude, you'll crush it. Like it's like metal. Like it is heavy, Fifi. It's a
Why
weapon.
do you think I'm trying to? Yeah, I know. I don't like that cat. Like she's not.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just gonna be A, messy, and B is just gonna it's not gonna kill it, but maim it, and then make it need more attention. And,
right. Yeah. And then I'll have two cats that are broken. And
right. Yeah. Then you'll have 2 3-legged cats.
Okay. So what do we do? Best and worst of the year. Best things and worst things of the year.
Was probably getting back to working more often. I got to travel some for work. And I had some really great work things come along this year. So that I was really happy for, because I love what I do. And then I don't know the worst thing that's happened. I mean, we're still in COVID. So like that's a thing. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this year's been humming along fairly well. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to just keep it that way. And then, everyone's making the joke of like, is it 2022 or 2022? And I'm like, oh God. Right.
Right. 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
So my best and worst thing of this year is the same exact thing. And that's that my kids went back to school. Like it was the best thing to send them back to school. And it was like, I was like running through the house singing George Michael. Like I was like, freedom. Like it was awesome. Right. And at the same time, it was the worst thing because I was terrified that and every day and the testing and the check-ins and and then someone's quarantined and all that stuff. Like, I think that was the biggest thing of the year. And I moved. That was getting out of my old situation and into this house was like, a huge deal to be able to do that. Yeah. And then I also want to say that as a parenting, since we are a parenting thing, that you and I were able to have a little fun on at Harper's expense the other day. That I did. I'm still laughing.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah. I hope she appreciated that.
I found a Finsta of Harper's, and I busted her on it. She blamed it on a friend. I don't know why she would blame it on a friend. I have the person's cell phone. I texted the friend. Friend was like, I didn't do it. Screenshot it, send it back to Harper. I said, I'm following that account. You will follow me back right now. And she was like, okay, sorry. It's not a big deal. And then I told Jody, I was like, you have to go follow it. And I never said anything to Harper about it. Jody just followed her.
I just went and followed it. There was like 5 followers on there. So I was like, I know she's going to see me. Hi Harper. Right. Yeah, that was basically what that was. It was just like I see you. Hey. Yeah. Your mom's best friend is here.
Bye. Look at you.
Right.
And then you also know that she was like, those two were talking about me.
Yeah, I've eaten an embarrassment of cookies, which is equivalent to several dozen. That's an embarrassment of cookies. It's like a murder of crows, an embarrassment of cookies. It's like
not crow cookies though. There was no crow. No crows.
No. 3 blackbirds baked in a pie. No, we didn't do that. But we did. But I'm saying we because it makes me feel better to think that there are multiple people inside of me that ate all the cookies. Okay, so. Oh, well, I was going to tell you the cookie story, but whatever. You can. Should I tell it?
I think you should. Yeah. We FaceTimed the other night to like catch you up on random stuff, and I made you tell it to me because you had texted to me.
Yeah. So what happened was I was out here. I had taken a nap late in the afternoon because it's the holidays and I just could. So I took a nap and wasn't ready for bed yet. So I stayed up out in the office out here watching murder documentaries, as I do when I can't sleep.
Right.
And
it's Christmas, so why not?
And it was right. It was Christmas, so yes, of course,
It's the
obviously.
season, right?
And so merry murders, Anyway, so I went inside and I was like, oh, I could use some snacks. And my friend Kim had made all of these cookies. She makes every year. They're amazing. She makes like 12 different kinds of cookies, 15 different kinds of cookies, and packages them all in like little packs of individually wrapped, like, 4 cookies or whatever. Well, there were like 6 cookies left. Okay. Maybe 7. And I went inside. I was like, oh, I'm going to have a snack, because nobody else, it was like Italian ricotta cookies, and they were delicious, but nobody else in the house was really eating them. So there was like 1 left. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to eat that. So I ate 1 cookie. Then there were 6 left. And I was like, well, I'm going to have another one. And then there were only 5 cookies. And I was like, that's 1 hand of cookies. So that's silly to leave.
Not enough to say.
5 smallish, like what's 5 cookies?
No.
I know I'm going to want more when I go back out to that. So I put them all in the bag and I took them with me. And then my mom had made those little peanut butter blossom cookies.
Yeah.
And milk chocolate chip cookies, and this stuff that we call peanut candy, that's like butterscotch chips, chocolate chips, marshmallows, peanuts, all that like melted together, and then you make candy out of it. And so I was like, well, I mean, I'll throw a few more. So I threw like 3 peanut butter chocolate chip cookies and a couple, pieces of the candy. So I had what had turned from 6 cookies or 7 into 5 cookies. Plus I added quite a few more. So I came in and I'm eating I ate all the cookies. And then I went back inside after like an hour and a half. And I was like, I could eat more cookies. So I'm standing there eating more cookies, and I have the fridge doors open like a child. And I'm like, this is where my kids get it, just standing in front of the fridge with the door open. And I'm standing there and I'm like drinking a glass of milk, and I'm just like nodding. I'm like, mm-hmm. And in my head, I think, wow, you really went hard in the paint with these cookies. And then I had a thought in my head where I went, you really just said hard in the paint about cookies. Who are you? And I was like, what is wrong with you? And I started having this whole dialogue while standing at like 12:30 at night, holding a cookie in front of the thing. And I texted Celia and I was like, I just said I went hard in the paint about cookies. And so then, of course, the next night after she and I had FaceTimed for a while, I sent her a picture again of me going hard in the paint with the last of the peanut butter blossom cookies, of which there were 5, and now there are none.
And an open half gallon of milk. You were just holding them.
Yeah, I had a half gallon of milk in hand and like a cookie, and I just took a picture of me, and I was like, "Here's to going hard in the paint." And now what I told myself was, after the holidays, I was gonna give myself a couple days, and then all of this treats in the house, I'm done. I don't want to eat anymore. But I think my brain thought we would trick me by just eating all of the sweets in the house, and then there's nothing to throw away.
Right. Waste not, want not.
Right. So now, like, my plan for myself has backfired in that I was like, oh, I'm just, just have a couple and then get rid of what's not there. And by get rid of, I meant eat it. And that's what I've done.
That's
over the past
still getting rid of it. It's not there. Thus, you have gotten rid of it.
Exactly. Like, what do I know? There's 2 empty Tupperware that used to be cookies now. I'm like, but there's no cookies now, so I don't have to worry anymore.
Well, I was alone, so that same night I went and ate some full dairy gingerbread cookie.
Oh, that's right.
Ice cream, and I sent her back a picture. It was like, back at you, like,
yeah. But we know the danger of you eating full dairy ice cream is far greater than me eating several dozen cookies.
Yeah. Nobody was home, so there was no danger of like any sort of, Raiders of the Lost Ark when they open up the Temple of Doom and then like their faces all melt off, because that's right. Honest to God, what would happen after I eat dairy, and my body processes it or doesn't.
The cats are a little singed, but that's okay.
The cats got up and left the room, and I'm not even joking.
You're like, Jesus, woman.
I was watching TV and it was so bad, like the things coming out of me, that both cats at one point like just got up and left.
They just looked at you like, what the woman?
This is like, no, that's shit. We poop in a box and shame on you.
That happened. So B found a piece of steak that I had brought.
You told me
somewhere that I didn't even remember was still in the fridge. It had been like a week. I mean, it wasn't weeks. It was, it's not like a petri dish, but it was questionable for sure. And I had forgotten it was in the back of the fridge. And apparently B came out and was like, oh, hey, I had that steak that was left over. And I was like, what steak? Oh God, that steak? Which was like a week earlier. And she gave some to the dog. And the dog had an obnoxious amount of gas. It was really, I was like, geez, oh my God, dog. Like,
dog farts are so bad.
They're so bad, and they're so bad. And she's so always next to you that it was just like, man, can you go outside? But it was pouring down rain.
Oh yeah.
So
and then
and
wet
like,
dog.
Oh,
ugh. That's no, that's a hard.
No. So anyway, we're basically around this house just eating lots of questionable foods, too much questionable food, and that's about it. And I still have Christmas leggings on, I'll have you know.
Well, good for you. Because
I'm gonna be honest though, it feels odd because Christmas has passed, and usually I'm like, that's it, no more Christmas. But it's almost New Year's, and they're fleece lined, and it's very chilly. So that was why I wore them.
Right. Very, very chilly for us in LA. Is 54 degrees.
It was 49 degrees yesterday, driving home here in the valley. It gets chilly.
Yes. I mean, remember I used to live in upstate New York, where the year I left upstate New York was negative 22 degrees.
I mean, look, that's actual cold, but for us LA people, 49 is quite freezing.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I have an electric blanket both at my house and at Dustin's house that I use because I'm always cold. So yeah, it's something. Well, I just got my kids back. I actually haven't had them for break. Like they went this, we split, Jesse and I split break half and half, and he always gets them for Christmas. And I'm a lonely Jew on Christmas. And usually I have Chinese food, although I actually didn't. I had a Christmas.
I was like, you had Christmas. You did. Yeah, I mean,
Dustin and I do something. I don't, it's not my holiday. It's fun, whatever.
I mean, look, you and I celebrate Christmas about the same. We eat food.
We eat food,
food, and there's some presents and
exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's Hanukkah's over.
It's about as much my holiday as it is yours.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? It was, I don't, whatever. We had a good time, but Dustin and I actually went to Napa and we had an awesome time. I sent Jody a video because on the first day we went to 3 different wineries, and I don't really drink. And when I do, then I usually.
But when you do, you become the Dos Equis man.
But when I do, I become the Dos Equis man. That is exactly right. And I was on it's just tasting. So it wasn't like a lot of wine, but certainly by that point in the day, probably like glass 3, I'd say, like total 3. And we got to this winery and we were sitting outside and they poured us some wine, went inside, and then Neil Diamond started playing, America started playing. And I grabbed my phone and make a recording of me with a glass of wine singing America, at which point Dustin just goes, are you like making a thirst trap? And I'm like, yes, this is how I thirst trap. Singing Neil Diamond, America.
Neil Diamond. Look, if
that doesn't reel him in.
If anything is going to get you laid, it's Neil Diamond impressions. I'm just saying.
With my boyfriend, that's actually true. But I sent it to you, and I sent it to Jody, and she just writes back right away, like, oh my God, they have no idea what they're dealing with right now.
Yeah, I was like, oh, those poor people at that winery.
I did. I sang the entire song.
I was like, you were gonna stand up and start.
I did. I was like,
oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, we were outside pretty much alone.
We're coming to America.
Yeah,
right.
everybody up.
Right.
Yeah. They're coming to America. Yep, you can put that in there because I don't care. I do it. I send her videos when she's bummed. I'll just put it on in my car.
It's true. It is. It's the way that you make me feel better is singing Neil Diamond.
I'll send you Neil Diamond. Yeah. So, but
even the real Neil Diamond doesn't bring me as much joy as you do singing it. So just so you know.
To be fair, I'm probably better at it than he is now. He's old, you know, he had his time. I've practiced a long time to get where I'm at in my Neil.
You're going to be like the guy that took over for the lead singer of, what was it? Journey, Foreigner, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
Journey. That'd be like an amazing.
Where like, it totally sounds like him. And yet you see the person and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Like that's what it's going to be. Right. Yep. People are going to hear you sing Neil Diamond and be like, oh my God. And then see you and be like, what?
Yeah. Right. What's the old Jewish lady doing singing Neil Diamond? We had such a good time though. It was fun. It was like really, it was the longest, you know, we've had a weekend away together before, Dustin and I, but this was like our first like vacation and, you know, we had
nice.
4 or 5 days and yeah, we had a really great time. We stayed at the Napa River Inn, which was like stunning. We had a fireplace in our room and they delivered fresh pastries every morning, which were dangerous. And I ate so much. I mean, I swear, I think I've eaten more in the past 2 weeks than I probably did the prior like month, like combined.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And then my birthday comes up in January.
I know.
So it's like this constant, like, well, it's, you know, the holidays. Well, it's my birthday. Well, yeah. And then by February, I'm like, I have had too much.
I mean, it's a lot. I'm still practicing yoga. Thank God for Jenny Brill, who like at least.
Yeah, I gave myself the like, you don't have to exercise this week. And now I'm like, not because I'm like, I'm gaining weight. I don't give a shit about that. I just I don't feel great. Mescal and I both are like, we don't feel well. Like we have really, really overdone it, which I feel like for me is the only way that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. Like I have to get to the point, as I have with lots of things in my life, where I'm just absolutely sick of it. And then I'll change my behavior.
When I left Dustin's the day after Christmas, because he made beef Wellington and we had like charcuterie, like I ate so much. And then I got back and he's like, can I send you home with some food? And I was like, no, you can't. God. Keep all your food. And I came back and I didn't eat most of the day. And then I ended up making gluten-free vegan mac and cheese because my body needed something that wasn't meat or sugar. And so I had that. And
how about a vegetable? I mean, look, I'm not one to talk. A vegetable has come within arm's reach of me in the last couple of weeks.
You wanted me to go from meat to like just being like what, like a salad? That's like telling me to like jump into like a cold pool. Like I gotta wait.
No, I get it.
You know,
you gotta wean. Right.
Yeah, I had to wean myself off stuff.
I'm basically made of meat, cheese, eggnog, and sugar at this point, which I feel like are the 4 food groups that Buddy the Elf talked about. So, yeah, I'm doing all right. Hey, you guys, thanks for watching this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find weekly episodes of us being ridiculous and lots more. And thank you so much for all the comments, all the subscriptions, all the love that we get from you guys. We really, really appreciate it. And we had such a great time. We talked about the holidays, presents, cookies, all the
boyfriends, kids.
Yeah. All of it. It was a nice little holiday wrap up.
Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody. And if you have not checked out our podcast, please do that. It is on Apple and every other place that you can find your favorite podcast. And hopefully your favorite podcast is Never Thought I'd Say This.